Sometimes life is messy. Have you ever wished you could refocus your mind, home, relationships, and work life? Join us as we use research-based information to make practical changes and simplify life. This is Life Simplified.
Welcome to Life Simplified. Today we are going to be continuing our 75 pieces of life advice from adults older than 50. So this is Amanda. I'm your host for today. So if you missed our previous 1 through 18 of the 75, I encourage you to go back and listen. It is very entertaining, and make sure you stick all the way through the end because the last one we went over was a great tip that we all should know. So we are going to start with number 18. Number 18 says, spend time with your parents. They won't always be here. Make memories with them. I think that's a great piece of advice.
It
Yeah.
is. And I think it's hard. Like, I think we're getting to the age where we're creeping on midlife. We're already living there, some of us. And our parents are getting a little bit older. And so every day I think I'm more cognizant, like, this is so true and it goes so quickly.
I agree with that. And it's hard sometimes to find time just because we live such busy lives. Everybody does. It feels like everybody is constantly on the go, but I think it's very important to make that time.
I agree. And I think also, like, for me, I just try to stay connected because I live 4 hours from my parents. So we do try to go up at least once a month or every other month. So quite occasionally. So, we don't live right next door, but I try to at least talk to them or send them pictures and, have that communication because you can still have that connection, even though you don't get to spend time with them. Now, it's not the same, of course, but it's something and it's an effort. So
Yeah.
there are ways.
I'll say I live in the same town with my parents, but don't see them near as much in person as I probably should. But I do call my mom almost every day. Like, I would say Monday through Friday, I call her at least once every day. On the weekends, I get distracted and have other things, but I think I make an effort to, when I leave to go pick up lunch or come back from lunch, and when I'm in my car, I call my mom. And it may just be a 5 or 10 minute phone call, but it's a touch base.
I also live in the same town as my parents, and while I don't see them every day, but I do typically my mom and I will text most days, if not every day. And then when I'm out running somewhere, I'll call her and be like, I only got like 10 minutes, but hey, so what's going on? But my brother, he lives about 4 hours away. And so I know that he has to make more of an effort and call, and because he's got two kids that are busy with extracurricular activities. So my parents do try to go up there and see some of those, and he calls and he'll call me and talk to me. And it wasn't about sibling relationships, but you don't live next to somebody, you have to make an extra effort to communicate and connect.
All right, number 19. I feel like this is a very important one. We have some stories to share about this, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Always have at least a quarter tank of gas in your car.
Can you say that again? You
Yes.
repeat.
Always have at least a quarter tank of gas in your car.
I don't know why Tiffany keeps like just looking at us and being
I don't know
like,
either. With her
you need to
smile,
repeat
you all should see
that.
the smile.
I'm
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
saying. I'm just saying, folks. Some
I
of
don't
us,
like it.
some of us are not great at keeping gas in their vehicles, and they like to make it. We talked about a game at the last one. This is a game that I think some of the friends on Life Simplified like to play. It's the "How far can I go on fumes" game.
I
I
think
don't
I think
know.
Tiffany might have been with me one time whenever I did this, and I'm pretty sure she was communicating with her husband like, you might have to come get me.
No. I think what happened was homegirl was like, we got enough gas to get to the airport. It'd be fine. And then she didn't feel good. So I was like, I got this. I will drive your car. And then I'm like, Ashley, oh my gosh, the light is on. We are not to the parking spot. What is this? So don't be trusting them. Put gas in the car.
I don't put gas
gas
in the car unless the light comes on. Right?
I cannot with you people. Listen, there's gonna be an emergency and you're gonna need to get out and you're gonna be stuck at the gas pump. I'm gonna be rolling. I'm gonna be like, love y'all, bye.
Whatever, you're going to take us with you.
I
That's
will. I'll be
right.
like, get in.
Your car's big enough, it can fit us all.
We're gonna have a lecture on the way, but get in.
We're used to the lecture. It's fine.
So, some people think that's a good tip to always live by. That's your choice, up to you. Okay, with that, number 20. As far as retirement, have a plan of what you're going to do with some of your time. Exercise, volunteer, work, clubs, etc. Don't just sit at home.
I have a plan.
I was like, I can daydream about plans here, people.
I have
What is retirement? That's my question.
So far away. Like,
Yeah, I think it is
know
good,
people
solid
that
advice.
struggle because if you think about it, you've spent decades of your life having, planned for your day, and then all of a sudden you have all this time. You could either get really lonely, which we talked in the last episode, or you could have a lot more to do and transition and really enjoy that freedom.
when I've mentioned retirement to my husband, and he's like, "What retirement? What are you going to do? What are we going to do? I don't want to just sit at home," which he does not like to sit at home. I enjoy sitting at home, but that's not what my plan is. I'm not just going to sit at home. But I was like, well, there's things that I want to do. There are things that I don't have time to do right this second. Although I have heard that when you get the opportunity to retire, you find things to fill your time and you're just as busy. But he's just like, no, I don't want to sit at home. I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to sit at home. You can come to things with me. I have a plan. Let's go.
So, number 21, always have band-aids, a pen, and at least $20 cash in your purse.
That's legit.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's a good one.
And right now I have, well, I don't have a pen in my purse and I really needed one the other day, but I don't know what, honestly, I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but you have so many pens and then you can never find one when you need it. But definitely I need a pen. And I try to keep one in the console of my vehicle too, because you never know when
Yeah.
you're going to need
Yeah.
that.
And I think the $20 cash is always good because I'm guilty of not always having cash. And then you need it for certain things.
I've tried to train my kids that too. Like, keep some money on you. You never know if you're gonna have an emergency, and $20 isn't gonna buy you everything, but it can get you out of a pickle.
I would have to hide this $20 from myself so that I wouldn't be like, oh, well, look, I just found $20. Let me spend it on whatever. Because I keep my fun money in cash and I can spend that on dining out or, well, whatever I would like to spend it on. So if I've got that $20, I'm going to have to put it in a very separate spot so that I know that that is my emergency $20. That is not my fun money $20.
You put it in your phone case.
Ah, smart.
That is a good idea.
Excellent idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You're
then
not
when you
gonna
really
pop that
need it,
phone
you'll
case
remember.
off unless it's an emergency.
Right. And you're remember when you need it, but other times you're not going to be like, oh, let me get this out. I like it.
Good tip. All right, number 22, wear comfortable and practical shoes. Yes.
For certain, I did not always adhere to this principle of life, and my feet hurt all the time now. And I definitely agree with this.
I do too.
I agree, but I also agree that you can buy stylish, cute comfortable and practical shoes. So you do not have to give up your sense of style. I think that's what holds us back from wanting comfortable and practical shoes is we think they can't be attractive, but they can. And they are investments. So they while they may cost more money, they are worth the investment and they last so much longer than all the cheap pairs of shoes that we buy when we're young.
All right, 23. Always live below your means. This makes for much less stress and much more happiness. I think that's a great tip.
Very true. Very, very true. And I think avoiding falling into the trap, like as you make more, as you get a raise or a promotion, keep living like you're living, and then you can save more, and then you're good, you're better. I think we're always tempted, like, whoo, okay, now I'm gonna go bigger, and we get more stress, and have regrets.
Or more stuff. I
Yes,
think,
more,
like in the
oh, that
society we
stuff.
live in, like it's more material things, or you get notifications and emails and it's on social media, like, all those
Mhm.
different avenues they're trying to get us to buy things. Um, so yeah, I think I definitely agree with that one. Number 24, tip generously.
Yes, yes. I do not like a cheap tipper. I can't. I just no.
We have a podcast, right? On
We
tipping,
do.
Yeah,
on,
you did
yeah,
it. Yeah, you were the
yeah.
host.
Yeah, so that's definitely one we could, if you haven't listened to that one, it kind of goes through what to kind of tip minimal or different places you may be or different things. So definitely check that one out if you haven't. But yes, that's a great one because, it's like you said, it just they work hard and we talk about in that episode, there's a certain amount of money that they make if you do work for tips, and so that helps with that. And that's a hard job. Not people aren't always nice.
No.
Number 25, unused new batteries last for years. Better to have them at home than still at the store when the current ones quit.
I agree. And have a variety of sizes. Like have all of them. A little bit of everything. Especially
So
when you have young kids that have toys.
yes.
Christmas. Whew.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think it's been a couple Christmases ago, we purchased like a battery pack, I guess. So it holds all different sizes and all different shapes, and it's clear so you can see, how many you have and what you don't have. And I agree with you because people will be like, here's this cool toy, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's no batteries, and you're like, fabulous. So then you have an upset child. So one thing, well, on with that. So my little 2 cents is if you give a kid a present, take batteries to it. Because I
Yes,
did that and they were like, thank you so much for giving us batteries. So, a double tip, have the batteries and then give the batteries if you need to.
absolutely.
All right, number 26. I feel like this is Ashley. Dance whenever you can.
I like it. I'm ready to dance at all times, pretty much.
It's good advice. It's
Yeah,
solid.
I like it.
There's
My
nothing
mom,
an impromptu dance party can't fix.
true. Yes. And my mom would definitely like this one.
Mhm.
She dances more than I do. She is always dancing. It just makes you feel better. Put
It
some
does.
music on and just sometimes I don't even have music on.
I
I'll
rarely
just
have music. I have
I'll
beats of
just
my own.
it's in my head. Like I'll dance while I'm brushing my teeth. My child makes fun of me. She'll like walk by the door and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Just to dance in a little bit, like making brushing my teeth a good time." Or
Mhm.
when you're in the kitchen cooking supper, do a little jig.
27. Relax. Life is already moving too quickly. It is true. Take time to smell the roses. Nothing is more important than caring for yourself.
Man, I think that was like multiple nuggets of advice in
Definitely.
that one tip.
I would say that is definitely some advice that I need to take. But sometimes it's hard to relax,
It
especially
is.
when you've got such a long list of things to do. So you have to be very intentional about relaxing.
Yeah. 28. Leave a spare house key with a neighbor.
Nah. I'm gonna
My
nope out
parent
on that one. Sorry.
my
Sorry.
parents have a house key.
I think
So
someone should have a house key, but it's probably not like choose wisely, folks. Choose wisely.
So let someone have one, I guess is what you're saying.
Or hide it somewhere that in a pinch you could tell somebody where it was,
Yeah.
but they don't have to know all the time and it can move frequently.
Ours is, I guess we're a little different, and I don't, it's just kind of what we've always done. We have like a little keypad, and so pretty sure there's quite a few people that know our passcode. But I mean, for us, it's easy. You know, we have family that live close, and they're like, "Hey, I got this for you. I'm dropping it off," or if we're out of town. So I think in that context is good, definitely. Now we have had a time. It's been a while ago. We had someone who knew the passcode to our house, and they sent us a picture of our bathroom floor, and they're like, "Sorry, I had to stop and use the bathroom at your." Tiffany's face. You need a picture of that. You know what? Emergencies happen, and if we were able to help them out, I'm okay with that. All right, number 29. Just remember, if you are in a position to retire and you feel you want to, then do it. There are so many options for people after retirement now that can make them wonder, how did I have time to work?
Right. I like this.
I like this a lot.
yeah, see, I had always heard that, you find something to do if you will look for it. If you will look for it, you will find something to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like it. If you are able to retire and you want to,
Go for it.
have at it.
Yeah. Because you could always have like it says, you could have a second career, you could do a part-time. There's something, that you can do. And especially, I like that they put in there, you feel you want to. Because
Hmm.
you could probably, I know some people may not want, like, I can't retire, but like if you're in a place that you really need to, whether it's you're negative about things, whatever it is, it's probably going to create a better work environment for everybody too, if it's just not a good place for you. Number 30, if there is something you want to do or see, do it. You never know what tomorrow will bring. Having cancer brought that home for me.
Yeah, I think sometimes we put off things or we think we can't, or we're like, oh, that's a splurge. Should I do that? And I think some things like those bucket list things, those once in a lifetime type opportunities, sometimes you just go for it. I don't think you'll ever regret it.
Yeah, I saw like a meme or a thing the other day that said just take the trip, and it was from somebody who I know has been going through some rough times and things like that, and that really was like, yes, that's true, take the trip, spend the time, and like it said, spend time with your family and your friends and things like that. Number 31, pursue your hobbies. You may need them if life gets hard. I agree with that. So it could be an outlet per se, those hobbies that it just stress reliever, a thing to get your mind off whatever's going on in your life. And when it gets hard, it's just a little reprieve from what's happening.
Well, and sometimes life just gets so busy, depending on what season you're in, and you don't find yourself making as much time for your hobbies. So then you're like, wait a second, what do I even like to do? So I think it's really important to keep those up, even if it's just spending a few minutes when you have the time.
32, listen to your gut. If something feels wrong, it's most likely wrong.
Yeah, I'm big at trusting your gut. Intuition is there for a reason, or whatever you want to call it. Intuition, your gut, spirit. There's stuff inside of us that help guide us, and if it feels off, it's probably off for a reason.
33, contingency planning is not limited to the military. Plan your response to possible problems before they happen rather than after you're stressed because they have happened. I think that's a good tip.
I like it.
I like it, but you gotta be so careful because I'll be over here like, okay, what are all the things that
Yes,
can
you
go
could go down a
terribly
rabbit hole.
wrong? And then you're all Try not to let yourself go there.
Yes, I agree because it's definitely one of those rabbit hole moments for sure.
Yes.
I hear you talking to me there with the don't go over too many of the problems, but I'm gonna send this one. I'm just gonna like snip that and send it to my husband and be like, see, other people like to plan for all of the things that could
That's
happen.
right. All the things.
All the things. I added the all, I added that in there to all the possible problems. Okay, maybe not all. Fine. I'll tone it down a little.
And number 34, this is going to be our last one for this episode. Move closer to family. That doesn't mean you will see your family. They will be living their life with kids, work, etc., and you will be inserted into their schedules. I think this might be maybe a grandparent situation. Like if you think like, if you have grandkids that live away and that's saying you may not see them because, they have kids, they're working, etc., but they'll make time for you or you can attend those events or be there for the little recitals or, whatever it may be. So that may be from a grandparent standpoint, I think. I don't know. What do you all think?
I think so. Looking at it like that and knowing that these are advice from people over the age of 50, that is probably where they're coming from there.
What I think they're trying to say is make yourself available, like get closer so you have the option to see and do and help, but set your expectations realistically. Like you can't just move there and then think, well, we're going to spend all day every day and this is going to be my whole existence. Because they say that doesn't mean you'll see your family. They're still living their life. They're still going to have their work and their routine and their things, but you can start finding where you fit into that schedule. And I like that because you have to be realistic. Like they still have their things going on. So I'm still gonna have to have my own schedule, my own things, but I'll have more opportunity to fit in where it makes sense.
I like that point too, that you still have to have your own, you have to have your own life, but it would be nice to be able to be close. My brother and I live 4 hours apart. And when he first had kids, I was there often. I did not have kids. And so my weekends were my own. And if I wanted to just randomly show up and see what they were doing, I was always welcome to do that. And now that I do have children, those have gotten a little further in between just because they are involved in so many things. My children are involved in so many extracurricular. So when you can be closer to family, if you have that opportunity, I am fortunate that the girls, their grandparents live in the same community as we do. So they get to see them. They're able to come to their games or whatever activity they're doing, not necessarily games, but we're there. Whereas my brother, my parents don't get to make it to as many things because they're further away. But his wife's parents, they actually did move closer. And so they have their own life that they don't live with them. They don't see them every single day, but they are able to be more part of it. And that was just they were able to do that. So I can see both sides of that.
So that wraps us up for this episode of Life Simplified. So join us next week and we are going to continue our little nuggets of information from adults older than 50 who live in Kentucky. And I like at the beginning of this article that we'll share, it says dive into 2 or sprinkle throughout the year. So as we go through these and you listen to these, maybe try to make some notes or write them down or use this resource that will link in the show notes. That way, you can either print it off or copy it and you can utilize these tips as well. So thank you all so much again for listening to Life Simplified.
Thanks for listening to Life Simplified. We are Family and Consumer Sciences agents with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. contact us at lifesimplifiedpodcast@gmail.com.